Alright, howdy, howdy. We're gonna do another reaction because I got a lot. I don't want to become a reaction channel, but uh, reacts get the clicks for some reason. I'm guessing a lot of people just want to know what's on people's mind. I'm gonna try this format with a picture for a background and my avatar and or model and we're gonna see. I don't know if you can read this, but it says the Elder Scrolls 6 situation is crazy. It's by Storm. I saw this a few days ago, and I wanted to react to it. I'm a little bit late, but we'll see what this is about. I think I have a feeling I know what he's gonna talk about.
Alright, what's going on, guys? A series of video games that we don't normally talk about much here on the channel, but is very close to my heart, is the Elder Scrolls series.
Yep.
Skyrim is one of my favorite games of all time, and I've played through it countless times, and like many of you, have been eagerly awaiting Elder Scrolls 6 ever since. And when it
Yeah, before he gets too much into it, I've played Skyrim since 2011 when it came out. It came out 11/11/11. I remember that date to this day. And Dark Souls was my original game I played. I think it also came out in 2011. I think that took it for a while, but I wasn't that good at it, so I didn't care. And then I saw this, and I knew Bethesda because of Fallout franchise, so I was already a fan. But Skyrim was like, for me, it shed so much light. It was so good. Even the DLCs later were good also. But we'll continue.
When it comes to video game announcements, it's hard to imagine one more notorious than the teaser trailer for The Elder Scrolls 6. And with a lot of recent news, this situation has gotten crazy. There has been a major milestone reached with the Elder Scrolls 6 announcement, in that the announcement itself is now older from today than it was to the release of Skyrim when it dropped. For context, Skyrim released on November 11th, 2011, almost 13 years ago, and the teaser for the Elder Scrolls 6 dropped on June 10th, 2018. And it doesn't feel like it, but we really are almost 7 years since that announcement. And since then, from the official side of things, it's been complete radio silence from Bethesda. But at least unofficially, we have a lot to discuss. Details about the game's creation, the setting, where the actual work on the game is at the moment, some leaks going around, and a lot to discuss about a potential Oblivion remaster. And we're gonna break all that down. So as we get started today,
I thought the Oblivion remastered was a Skyrim mod that someone's doing and he's like doing the whole game, but with the Skyrim engine. I thought, at least. I didn't hear anything about a remastered. I know they did shut down a couple mods. I forget what they were. So I don't know. Oh no, to me, the fall of, he'll probably get into this, but I think he's just going to talk about Elder Scrolls 6, but I think the fall of Skyrim was not the fact that they kept re-releasing it, although that did put a damper in it. It was the paid mods, because in my opinion, what makes Skyrim great is the community and the mods that come with it. I don't think Skyrim would have been as popular if it didn't allow any mod support. Like, no one can mod it. I don't think it would be as popular as it is now. I mean, in my opinion, it's still going strong. Skyrim is just one of those games. It's gonna last for a long time, just like Minecraft. You'll just pick it up one day and want to keep playing it. That's all it is. It's just one of those games.
if you are new to the channel, go ahead and do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. And with all that, let's begin. Now, a good place to start is to begin by discussing the more reliable things we've heard. Now, one of the first hints we ever got about a possible setting of the Elder Scrolls 6 came from a tweet from the official Elder Scrolls account back in 2020, saying, "Transcribe the past and map the future," with an image of the map of Skyrim. But the map is more focused in the bottom left, which is obviously unmapped and we would need to transcribe. And that region is Hammerfell, which has been a running theory for a long time in the Elder Scrolls community that it would be the setting of the next game. And lately, there's been a lot of hints to back that up. Now, Hammerfell is a very vast region with lots of
Is Hammerfell uh like a desert? I can't remember the lore of Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls series. I want to think it's a desert. Because, I mean, right here it says desert. High Rock, Cyrodiil. I don't know.
Diverse landscape, but its most famous part is the Alikir Desert, and it is also the home of the Red Guards, who are very characterized around this desert climate. But what's very interesting about this is that fans have been digging deep on the internet and found more hints that yes, this likely is the setting of the Elder Scrolls 6. And one of these hints actually comes from a developer's Pinterest board, which is very clearly looking for ideas for designs for a desert nomadic people. Looks a lot like the Red Guards to me. Later on we see a page of desert landscapes, which is painting a pretty clear picture here. Now combine that with a post from a Bethesda developer just a few days ago, wearing a head wrapping, and appears to be out in the field, possibly getting inspiration. So those are kind of the official reasons why the community is so sold on the idea of Hammerfell being the next setting. That and the fact that
what'll be funny is they're doing all this and it's gonna be like a winter biome. Just a complete 180. That'd be hilarious.
It's one of the only regions of Tamriel we haven't explored in an official title yet. But what else do we know about this game? Well, there have been a lot of insights into the actual way the game is going to run, what it's going to be built off of, and unfortunately, the best comparison we have is Starfield. Now, I say unfortunately, because the game ran very poorly on console, being locked.
Literally, I got two gripes with this. One, people can cry about this all they want. In my opinion, Fallout 4 played great or well, but the story sucked. The writing, it felt like I was playing 3 again. Instead, they flip roles. Instead of you searching for your dad, you need to search for your son. Like, it didn't feel anything, but it made up with it with how the game ran, the gun bench, the workshop, etc., etc. Even DLCs were mid at best. I think the best was Far Harbor and Nuka World. But, I mean, it's a whole different part of the map. Even then, Nuka World wasn't that good. Because you really can't play a bandit in Fallout. Like, you can't play a bad guy. And, yeah, you can go around killing, but you can't kill essential people. Like, you can't kill Preston and the Minutemen. Even though if you want to make a bandit faction. It's just so bad. And then with New Vegas, Obsidian, now that they're branched off and they're making their own games, they cannot let it down that they were the creators of Fallout New Vegas. And I get it. I give them their flowers and props for New Vegas. But, oh my god, that game is so old. You, like, move on. And I played Outer Wilds, and Outer Wilds wasn't that good either. And and now that they're making a second one, they keep throwing in their trailers. Well, the creators of Fallout New Vegas, and I'm like, please let it rest. You gotta come up with something new. You gotta make people invested in your company, not that you were the people that created New Vegas. Yeah, I'll get back into the video though. That was a small little rant.
At 30 FPS and not even achieving that most of the time. And on PC, although you could...
By the way, I still think New Vegas is hands down the best Fallout game. It's better than 3 by milestone, and it's better than 4 by story-wise.
Would get better performance, it was still just not up to par with other modern games. And it has been confirmed that the Elder Scrolls 6 will be built off the creation engine 2 that Starfield was. But Todd Howard did say that specific technologies for the Elder Scrolls 6 have been developed in the engine, and I hope that means the game is going to perform a lot better, especially since it's likely still...
I don't think it's going to perform well. I don't know if he'll have the tweet or whatever, but a developer said, or even Todd, I forget who, they said that when this game is released, that it's going to disappoint a lot of fans. And I was like, oof, that's a brave tweet.
well over a year out at the soonest. And that's one of the major topics we need to discuss, and ironically what we've gotten the most information about from very reliable sources. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys remember the story and the following court cases around Microsoft buying Bethesda, which ultimately did go through, where one of the major points of contention was the future of the Elder Scrolls 6, which they know is likely going to be their biggest cash cow in the future. And we actually got a roadmap from that.
Jesus. Look at all of these that were not good for Deathloop. Meh game at best. Ghostwire. I got it for free on Epic, so I downloaded it, but it could be good. Fallout 76. It was trash. Elder Scrolls Online. I don't play Elder Scrolls, so I can't really. I don't play ESO. Starfield. Trash. Redfall. Really trash. I think this put a heavy negative in Microsoft releasing this. I think this was the vampire game, if I'm not mistaken. And then Elder Scrolls 6, it's not gonna be multiplayer, which is good. Cross-platform, no. Release date on PC or PlayStation, no. But expected 2026 or later. The real question is, are we going to get an Elder Scrolls 6 or are we going to get a GTA 6? If they don't release in the same year, I think Elder Scrolls can make a lot of money. If they release in the same year, it's going to be, what do you want to buy? Because if they're going to charge $100 for GTA, you got to choose, okay, do I want Elder Scrolls 6 or do I want GTA? Even then, GTA is not going to be on PC for another year or so, even if they do that.
Where it lists the Elder Scrolls 6 as coming in 2026 or later, and also unfortunately lists that it won't be released on PlayStation. Now, one thing you will notice about that roadmap is that all of the games before Elder Scrolls 6 have released. They've come and gone, which, in the bit of good news here, means that Elder Scrolls 6 is now the primary focus, and we're now at a time where it's more likely than ever to get official news. But now we have to ask, at what stage is the actual development of the game? Well, the most recent official news we have about that comes from Bethesda's head of publishing, Pete Hines, who said before the release of Starfield in 2023 that the Elder Scrolls 6 is still several years off and has just now left pre-production into early development. And the reason for that was because they were all hands on deck for Starfield. Now here, going on 2 years later from that interview,
they were all hands on deck, but they still couldn't save that game. Oh, man. I'm glad I didn't buy Starfield. I like it. Space games for me, they just don't. They're just not they don't do anything for me. And No Man's Sky, I give them props because they at least stuck with it, and it's apparently a really good game now. So I mean, we need a new format. And I think this was also during the time when I forget what E3 it was, but literally every game was a space game. And then a couple years ago, every game was a 5v5 shooter. And it just kept it's I get it. It's like trends, like you gotta make your game around a certain trend that's popping, but like also games that are unique usually sell the most. Like Black Myth Wukong, they sold a lot of copies. Power World, no one made a Pokemon type game other than Pokemon, and they haven't even really done nothing with the IP. And then Power World came out, and they made like 2 million within 2 weeks, and it's a small indie studio. It's crazy. When you don't follow trends, you tend to make money as long as your game is good.
We haven't actually gotten an update on that, but one thing that is slightly refreshing to hear is that in an interview with Mr. Matty Plays, Todd Howard broke down that, unlike Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be a long-time investment for the company. They're looking at a 10-year lifespan for the game, and I'll quickly play you the clip of that.
Going back to that people staying in games, we went into 76 knowing, hey, this is a game we're going to support for as long as we can.
I'll look it up later.
Starfield, we go into that knowing the same thing. And as we go into Elder Scrolls 6, we sort of, with all of these games, you you got to start now by thinking about like a 10-year horizon, right? How do we support a game for that long?
With that in mind,
didn't they give up on Starfield? Like, they're not even doing any content update for it no more, right? Like, I don't even think it lasted a year. And with 76, it took them, I don't remember how long, to make content. And even then, they made a pay-to-win content where you buy repair kits with actual money. So, like, it wasn't even good content.
because you mentioned like future games. I know you want to let it have its moment and everything, but is Elder Scrolls 6 like in that bag of, yeah, we got to start thinking long-term roadmap for that, you know, what's 10 years of support looking like for that? Because I remember you said with Skyrim, you know, that kind of changed your outlook on how things work, because people just kept coming back to Skyrim, and it's like you continue to support it. So with Elder Scrolls 6 going in with that knowledge, is the plan like a long-term support for that too?
100%. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Seeing what Skyrim has done or other games. And I think you could say, look, for Elder Scrolls 6, yeah, I'll just stop there.
So at least on the bright side, we know that this game is going to be huge and be supported for a very...
You could tell he wanted to do like 16 times the detail and stuff like that. He's like, nah, I should stop. Shouldn't speak on it. They did make the Indiana Jones game, I think. Or at least they published it. I forget who made it.
Very long time. And I gotta be honest, at this point, that's the least they can do. If you're gonna make us wait almost 7 years from the first teaser before we ever get any more official info, I think we as fans are owed a product that the studio is going to fully invest in. And this is where I need to voice some concerns. Because if Starfield's what we have to go off of for the Elder Scrolls 6, I'm not happy with that. Because realistically, we're not looking at the same talent that made Skyrim making the Elder Scrolls 6. In such a long span of time, there's been a lot of turnover at the studio. The main one that comes to mind for me is Jeremy Soule, and I'm not going to get into the reason for him leaving or being let go, but you have to admit that the soundtracks he created were some of the most iconic in gaming history.
Yeah, that's the problem. Skyrim, hands down, still to this day has the best music playlist. Just for idle, combat, like the whole music score was so good. And in my opinion, the way video games works, writing, it should be your number one focus. Then music design, where it's like sound design or just music itself, it should be your second. And then third should be graphics. In that order. So storytelling, music design, or audio design, whatever you want to call it, and then graphics. Because I played some graphic-less games where it's like PlayStation 2 era or 1 era, but they have such good writing and their sound design is fantastic, or music is so good. Like you have to follow that little tree.
Even now, I listen to the Skyrim soundtrack all the time, and that was one of the main components in making that world.
I love putting like 8-hour long Skyrim wilderness nighttime like sounds or whatever. Like I love that.
Feel alive and immersive. But on the flip side, when I look at Starfield, I put over 30 hours into the game and really didn't enjoy any of it. The whole thing just felt bland, uninspired, and boring. The writing was genuinely bad. The characters were lifeless. The worlds were empty. And the entire time I was playing, I was telling myself, hey, you're having fun, when I genuinely wasn't. Compare that to Skyrim, playing it almost 12 years later. I still have a blast just wandering for hours and getting lost. Always finding something new to do, a new quest to go on, a new dungeon to explore, and it's never boring. And just for
I don't think I've ever found anything new. In my opinion, playing vanilla Skyrim is so outdated. I think I've stopped doing that since they added mod support to consoles. I think I was back in 2018, 17. I think. Maybe even earlier. But when they added that, not the Creation Club, when they added actual mod, just like a mod page, and that was fine. And that I literally picked up Skyrim and I played it for another whole year, just mainly Skyrim only with just mods. And then they added that Creation Club and paid mod crap, and it kind of ruined it because I know a lot of people have backlash on it. Even now, like, some of the mods are just way too overpriced for what they are. But I mean, if you pay for mods, I mean, it's just you're paying. Like, you get what you pay for. So I've never paid for a mod. Usually they give for free. I don't know if they still do that. They sometimes you can get some of the mods for free. But yeah, I might pick up and play. I did play Enderall, which is a good mod. Finally finished it. I don't know if I do have another challenge what I'm doing right now, which is it's a vanilla kinda, but it has like one mod in there, and it's just a clothing mod. It's getting married to all NPCs, and I have a wheel and I spin a wheel. I think I still need to do that. I might pick that up over the weekend. We'll see. I got a lot of crap I need to get done. I need to get done with if I'm going to do Mass Effect Andromeda again. Got the Skyrim run. I'm doing a bow run right now on Dark Souls 2 off stream. I still upload Stream Nova clips. I'm doing that content more than live streams because the live streams are just it's just not getting viewership. But I don't think a lot of people watch Street Nova live. They'll just watch it on YouTube. Even on Twitch, it's like I think I see barely 100 by the time I get home, and it's usually midnight. But yeah, we'll get back into the video though.
Context of that, I put over 500 hours into my first Skyrim playthrough and never actually finished the main quest. Not because it was bad, but because...
See, that's the problem with Skyrim. What do you determine the main quest? Do you determine the Dragonkin killing Alduin to be the main quest? Do you consider stopping the Civil War the main quest? Do you consider... Like, there's so many main quests. Like, you got the Brotherhood, you got Thieves Guild, you got the College of Mages, whatever. You got the Civil War where you can choose between two factions or none. You got Alduin killing Kim. Not even including the DLCs. Yeah, like it's so many. It's like it on paper it doesn't sound like a lot, but then when you actually sit there and try to play the game and you sit there and like, oh my god, this is actually massive. Like an average playthrough, if you're not speedrunning and doing like weird like glitches or whatever, it like 200 hours would probably get done with the most of the main story, non DLC.
I constantly kept getting lost on new things, and to be completely honest, I didn't feel that with Starfield a single time. So that's why I am really worried about the Elder Scrolls 6, and that they're going to treat the game the same way they did Starfield, and we won't get that Elder Scrolls magic that we're so accustomed to. Whether that means hiring new people, getting writers that actually know what they're doing, having a team that's inspired to bring that magic to life, and caring about creating a good game above everything else. So hopefully Bethesda does that, and it lives up to...
I think if they need help, they need to hire people that are actual, like, go hire your modders that kept Skyrim alive for so long. Like, those people love your games, and they do so much for your community. You should try to hire those people and give them jobs because they have the passion to make your game better. Don't hire just someone that just has a degree in game design but knows nothing about your franchise nor plays your franchise, because that they won't have the same passion.
To the hype that's been building for so long now, but we'll just have to wait and see. To finish off this video, let's switch gears and talk about this Oblivion rumor. Now, I love Oblivion, not quite as much as Skyrim.
Yeah, I think Oblivion is good, and the characters are funny. There's a lot of funny characters in the game and funny moments, but it runs poorly because it's so outdated. So if a remake happens... See, what I heard from this was a mod. I didn't hear an actual DLC, so let's see, or not DLC, a remastered. I want to see what he says.
Skyrim, but a lot of that's due to the age of the game. So when I heard this rumor about a potential Oblivion remaster, I got really excited. But is there any truth to this? How much validity does this leak have? Well, let's find out. This started back in 2023, when the parent company of Bethesda, ZeniMax, had some internal documents leak about future plans.
Doom Eternals and DLC, ESO, Fallout Wastelanders, Deathloops. Alright, this happened. I don't think this happened. I don't remember these. Starfield happened, ESO, Redfall, Dune, Ghostwire, Fallout Worlds. I think these happened. The Indiana Jones game happened. I didn't see anything about Oblivion Remastered. ESO and Starfield DLC did happen. No. Yeah.
And while the release schedule is very clearly out of date, there is an Oblivion remaster listed, and this was an official document, with many of the games that leaked on here eventually coming out. And when we compare it to others listed at the same time, it looks like it should be coming pretty soon. And now we have this new rumor from a supposed former employee, stating that
if you want to read this, go ahead and read this. I'm not gonna read this. I'm just gonna. All right. A former Virtuous employee who I didn't really read it, I was skipping, but whose name we won't disclose for privacy reasons, who worked on the game from 2023 to 2024. This individual also worked on Epic Mickey, Call of Duty Warzone. This is what I mean, like, just because they have background in video games, these games have nothing to do with Elder Scrolls. I could just saw a Warzone dev to make a good Skyrim game or a remastered.
That an Oblivion remaster is coming developed in Unreal Engine 5, stating that the game is going to have a new blocking system inspired by Souls-likes, an improved sneaking system, improved archery, modified stamina, and an updated HUD, and is supposed to be coming this year, according to someone else in June. Now, this does seem to be more than just an off-the-cuff rumor, as the details about the remaster were posted on a website by the former employee of the studio creating the game and unintentionally publicized. So it doesn't seem to be somebody clout chasing or doing this for attention. It was never meant to go public. But still, a few things about this stick out to me as pretty weird. First of all, why Unreal Engine 5? Bethesda has their own engine, and it seems a little weird to do a remaster in an entirely different one by a third-party studio. That sounds like a ton of unnecessary work. I don't really have any issue with the systems they described. I think a lot of systems in Oblivion do need a modernization, but it's been a while since I played it, so I'm not going to give my opinion on the specifics of that. But given that we have a lot of different people coming and saying that, yeah, this is real, I do give this more stock than just a random rumor. I'm not holding out a ton of hope, but if it is real, I'll be very happy. I would love to play an Oblivion remaster. But that's where I'm going to end things. What do you guys think? Do you believe this leak? How are you feeling about the Elder Scrolls 6? What do you want to see? And do you think it'll live up to all the hype, especially after all this time? Either way though, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like on it. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. I'll do my best to keep you guys up to date on more Elder Scrolls 6 news whenever that comes out. But with all that, I will catch you in the next one.
Good video. Give them some love, Go ahead, give you a sub. Honestly, as far as the rumor of the leak or remaster, I don't buy it. That being said, Elder Scrolls 6, like I said, if it comes out when GTA 6 comes out, it's not gonna make no money. In fact, I think they'll lose money. But if it comes out before or like a year after GTA 6, like any game that comes out when GTA 6 comes out, I guarantee you they're gonna lose money, because GTA 6 is definitely the most anticipated game of all time so far. Everyone's talking about GTA 6. Everybody's eyes are on GTA 6, not just to play it, to see what they're going to charge for it. Because a lot of people wanting $100, and that was in the last reaction, and I don't even want to get back into that. But yeah, Elder Scrolls 6, I think will still make them money. It's going to be a buggy mess because it's a Bethesda game. I wouldn't say it'll be unplayable, but it's definitely gonna have bugs. And we will see how the writing goes. I foresee uh probably paid mods on it. Probably not day one. I don't think any mod support day one would happen. But I do see paid mods being a thing again. Let's see what else. What else do I predict? I predict another 3 DLCs because that seems to be the format with Bethesda. Because Elder Scrolls or Skyrim came out with 3: Dawnguard, Hearthfire, and Dragonborn. That's the 3 DLCs. Hearthfire was barely a DLC. It's just a house. You get 3 different houses in 3 different locations, and you build it yourself. So I predict another 3 DLCs. Fallout 4. Technically I have 4, but 2 of them were like content that was probably cut and then just put in as a DLC, but 2 were main ones. So I predict 3 also DLCs. I don't know what they'll be, but I predict 3. Will it be good overall though? Do I have faith? Let's get rid of Starfield. Let's act like Starfield never happened. It's hard. It's really hard. I don't. Story wise, might be meh, but I think they'll definitely are going to take a massive hit in the music and story, or not story, music and sound design of the game. Unless they hire another good composer, I don't see it doing nearly as well as Skyrim does. In fact, they'll probably. I doubt they would do this because like they won't reuse the Dragonborn song because I don't know if the Dragonborn is gonna be a thing in the Elder Scrolls 6, but they probably are gonna reuse some of the music. Would be my guess. Are they allowed to do that? I think they can. I don't know why not. Yeah, I mean. See, the problem is the way gaming is happening now, I don't have faith. It is not even just a Bethesda thing. This is just every studio. I don't have faith in. Like, I still have somewhat good faith with CD Projekt Red. I know a lot of people are upset with the Witcher thing, but I mean, I already called it that they're going to get rid of Geralt. I mean, it's not a surprise. They were building up, whatever her name is. I can't remember her name offhand. I was about to say Yennefer, but that's not her name. They were building up her story. So I knew Geralt was gonna not be the main character if they ever made a new one. So, oop. My computer just went black. Okay. But yeah, I think that's it. Good video. Gives the story some love, and I will see you next time. Peace.